Alright, happy 404 day. This is going to be a beat making / storytime video, all revolving around this little beauty, the SP404A. Let's go. Actually, before we dive in, for anyone who's wondering, it's just my microphone. Alright, let's do this. So I got my 404 about 2 years ago. I'd been making sound-based music for about a year with my MPC 2000 XL, and I adored it, but I wanted something portable and battery-powered. Something I could easily take with me on a trip, or in my car, or even outside to a park or on my deck. And after a lot of thought and deliberation between the MPC Live and the SP404A, I obviously went with the SP404.
But why?
Well, it really came down to the size, durability, and the price. So I went over to my local music shop and they let me take a look at both. And there was definitely a major difference in size. I wanted something that could easily fit into a backpack or a small bag, which is much more feasible with the SP. Second was durability. And although the MPC Live seems to have really good build quality, I felt that all things considered, the large touchscreen, the 404 could just handle a bit more of the rough justice that comes with being portable. And the last factor was the price. Yeah. So homebound I was, with this little bundle of beat-making joy. Now I'll be honest, the first couple months, I did not like this thing. What I wanted was a mini MPC 2000 XL, which this is definitely not. The pitching function was nothing like the MPC, the chopping felt tedious, I didn't like the sequencer, but I also wanted to track up my beats, so I didn't want to use the resample method, and the list goes on. So it really just sat around. I would use it once in a while for its effects, but that's about it. So I started to think about selling it. But in the end, I'm glad I didn't, because I really would have been missing out.
It's the truth.
least one can be of some use to people.
So how did I go from dislike to love? Well, around this time last year, I decided to make a full mixtape using just the 404 and the resample method. After I made it, I knew that I would know whether or not I wanted to keep it. So I got to work. After about a month, I had an 8-song mixtape and a newfound love for the 404. Since then, my love for the 404 and the SP line in general has grown, as you can see. And I learned that I was wrong in my approach. I was trying to make the SP into an MPC. But once I stopped playing to its weaknesses and started to focus on its strengths, I fell in love. I actually just released that mixtape on Apple Music and Spotify. It's called Discotheque in a Dream State, and it's linked down in the description if you're interested.
What are you looking for? They said, a teacher.
There's so many positives about this machine, but I've narrowed it down to my top 4. Number 1, the flexibility. There's a number of different ways to make music on the 404. I've come to really enjoy using the pattern sequencer. It has a number of different quantization options and swing, including an unquantized mode. Another way is just to play it live. With the looping function, it makes it really easy to loop up your drums and play your sample over top, or loop up your sample and play your drums over top. But if you're feeling really adventurous, try just playing everything live. It's up to you. And of course, the resample method. I wanted nothing to do with this at first, but now, I love it. It's just such a unique way to make beats. It's completely destructive. If you need to go back and redo one thing, you need to also redo every single thing that came after that one change you have to make. Which helped me to stop second guessing myself so much and to focus less on perfectionism. Number 2, the chopping. What I first found tedious, I now find a joy. It's just so simple. There's no waveforms, just your ears. Hit that mark button, and then do a little fine tuning. It's just so quick and easy. And on top of that, you can chop your sample while the existing loop is playing. It's marvelous. Number 3, external source monitoring. The fact that the SP404 can still monitor incoming audio while playing the samples that are already inside it is so helpful. Whether you're just trying to figure out if a sample will fit with your existing beat, or if you're trying to use the 404 with other equipment and want to use it as a faux mixer, it's a great feature. And even though a lot of modern samplers can do that, I still felt it was worth mentioning because I use it a lot. And number 4, the sound. It just has this certain raw, wonky sound to it. Especially as you start resampling more and more layers on top of each other, it just gets this sound that's undeniable. Throw on its compressor, and you have that classic SP sound. So that's the story behind my love for the 404. If you like this video, please drop a like and/or subscribe. And if you do have any 404 related stories, tips, or tricks, let us know down in the comments. And finally, come hang out with me on my Instagram. Cheers!